Check this out, man. I'm serious, man. Get on my damn nerves, man. Not in a bad way, man. But in a way, man, my people, man, y'all gonna have to get it together, yo. You know what I'm saying? Mother's Day is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Do this for Mama B. You know, if y'all gonna do this shit for anybody, do it for the mothers B. So apparently yesterday. Oh, and this is on YouTube also. Yo, I know y'all like, what the fuck is he even talking about? It's a video on Facebook. I'll make sure I put up here. So yesterday I was telling people how Black Americans have no ancestors with them. And, you know, some people got it. Some people laughed. Even though ain't a motherfucking thing funny right now, but, you know, they got to feel however they wanted to feel about it. I want to listen to some stuff. I want to listen to 3 things. And then from there, we can finish what we're talking about. How, because I tell my people like this. You cannot say the ancestors is with you if you're doing things that they wouldn't allowed you to do. They wouldn't have okayed it. Talking shit about white people and lighting candles and talking about I put the spirit on you. They would never okay any of that shit. Because they would have been like, well, what is stopping y'all from just stop committing crimes on each other and stop looking at what everybody else is doing? It's like, you can't build your village looking at everybody else's village. That doesn't make any sense. You can't keep contriving ideas that don't work for you in the end. They only work for the people offering the idea to you. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I'm going to prove it by showing ancestors. I'm going to show you your ancestors and how they were talking. And I can hear black people already. What you mean? Like, you the only one who got access to information? We know what they said. No. I'm not talking about no hundreds of years ago ancestors and some thought process that you're not what you would call FBAs. Yo, people, I want you to listen to what they were saying and the times that they were in. And, you know, from there, we're just going to, like I said, we're going, what the hell? We're going to go from there. We're going to go from there. And it is what it is. Where's my shit? There we go. First, I'm going to show you a little short that I did. But it's Eartha Kitt. And Eartha Kitt is dropping jewels about the time around that Vietnam War, World War II, all that different stuff. She's going to tell us what was going on. And then this is going to explain at least some of the riots and stuff that the blacks were doing. I'm not talking about the whites. I'm talking about some of the blacks. This is going to explain why some of them went to crime. It wasn't like they wanted to. They technically really didn't have a choice. Check this out.
We were taught to hate the Koreans because we had to fight that war. We were taught to hate the Vietnamese because et cetera, et cetera. We were taught to hate the Japanese. When the wars were over, you didn't tell us not to hate them. You didn't retrain us. And then on top of all of that, you took the industry out of the United States and gave the American jobs to the enemy. How can you possibly expect us to accept that? Well, you never told us any differently. And now you're telling us that we're a problem? And we came home from these wars without a job? And look at the Gulf War. These boys came home and didn't even find practically enough money to pay their mortgages. And they're considered undesirables. The boys who came back from Vietnam were not even considered first-class citizens when they came back. They were hated, undesirables. And you are now telling us that we should love one another without jobs? You tell us that we should be good without jobs? That you gave to what you told us was the enemy? What are we supposed to do now? We were taught to hate the Germans because we had to fight that war. We were taught to hate the Koreans because we had to fight that war. We were taught to hate the Vietnamese because, etc., etc. We were taught to hate the Japanese. When the wars were over, you didn't tell us not to hate them. You didn't retrain us. And then on top of all of that, you took the industry out of the United States and gave the American jobs to the enemy. How can you possibly expect us to accept that when you never told us any differently? And now you're telling us that we're a problem? And we came home from these wars without a job? And look at the Gulf War. These boys came home and didn't even find practically enough money to pay their mortgages. And they're considered undesirables. The boys who came back from Vietnam were not even considered first-class citizens when they came back. They were hated, undesirables. And you are now telling us that we should love one another without jobs? You tell us that we should be good without jobs? That you gave to what you told us was the enemy? What are we supposed to do now?
Now, think back about all those videos of those people you see talking about Vietnam and they couldn't get a job and all this different stuff. And then think about the New York blackout. You have a bunch of ex-soldiers that you have not rehabilitated to come back into society. You shipped all their jobs off. You won't hire them. And then the tabloids and the media are calling them baby killers and all different types of stuff. It's kind of that's kind of tying somebody's hands behind their back, you know. And I'm not just saying that for, I'm saying that for anybody who was here at that time. Because right after civil rights comes the Sellers Act. Even Umar Johnson talking about Mexicans, Latinos weren't even in the marches with us. They had nothing to do with it. They stayed out until we got the bills passed. Then they came in as a minority, but classified themselves as white on status. Why? Conquistador, Spaniards, motherfucker, they sold Negroes too. So it's like they were never your friend politically. They can joke with you and act like they cool and then try to rap like you and then try to sing like you and then try to sell you their food, but they were never really interested in watching you rise. That wasn't the point. You're the stepping stone. Always remember that, American Negro. You are the stepping stone. In the end, you are the stepping stone. They all step on you to get where they wanted to go. And, we're just here to collect. That's all. That's all. But this is why when y'all like candles and the Oshun and them go, that's why that shit don't work, because those aren't your ancestors. Hurt to kid your ancestors. And she was saying some real powerful stuff about basically how they played you. That's something we need to listen to more often. Let's listen to another ancestor. Let's listen to another one.
A while ago, well, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Now, once again, Unshun and Ungun can't do nothing for you. But Malcolm X is your ancestor. This is in 63. What did he just point out? He just pointed out what you went through last year with Kamala Harris. He just told you they don't work for you. They work for the white people. And they 9 times out of 10 are spewing the same thing that they would be telling you. So when you've seen all these celebrities going for Kamala Harris, your Plizes and all your black elites and all these Q dogs and boule, when you've seen that, that is who Malcolm X was telling you about back in the 60s. This is your ancestors. These are your ancestors. These are the ones you should be praising. These are the ones you should be looking at. Your actual guides. Guys got you out here all the way in Africa, in Egypt, in some mystery Bible. You're all over the place. Meanwhile, the situations that you were in, these people were in, and they're telling you what happened. They're giving you the scoop in your face in time, real time. You can see it. Like, oh wow, this did happen. Oh wow. So I bring Malcolm into it because you guys got to understand this is deeper than, you you just talking shit about black Americans and saying that, the ancestors aren't with you. And no, I'm saying you got to stop trying to take everybody deity as yours. And maybe, just maybe, you have to realize why there's so many deities and so many idols. It's in the Bible where they're telling you don't worship the idols and follow this one God, but they're not telling you in the Bible that actually they kind of are if you read deep enough. They're not telling you that Abraham comes from he comes from Chaldea where the idols were already. This is how he got all these attributes to make this God he's talking to. Egyptians, the Jews and the Egyptians will always have conflict because one is saying that it borrowed from the other, and one is saying it had nothing to do with it. And truth and facts, there's slavery involved in it, and there's what you would say as land ownership conflicts. Let's say it like that. These people were spellcasters before you met them. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with Egyptian stuff, when you're dealing with biblical stuff, you're dealing with spellcasting. They're already doing it. I'm not talking about Malcolm X, the Muslim. I'm talking about Malcolm X, the man. When you heard him talking, he wasn't talking about no Quran. He wasn't talking about no Quran. He's talking about what is going on, how they bring these athletes and these singers and these entertainers and actors, and they have them try to represent you on a political level. When that is asinine. This is a puppet. This is a minstrel show character that dances and bojangles around. They cannot represent you on that level. So this is why black Americans have no ancestors. This is why, because y'all are worshiping Africans' ancestors. You worshiping shit way the fuck over there when they're not even in your situation. They're not the ones who were reclassified. They got dual citizenship. They're African Americans. You trying to claim that, but you're not. You don't have no dual citizenship. You're just the American Negro. Why? We're about to get into that. About to get into that point. I'm saying all this to say that the ancestors you guys want with you are not the ones that you're following, and that's why we're all messed up, because y'all think y'all on the right track and you're not. You on something that you're not even supposed to be on. You're on some bogus time. Hold on.
Ports and hotels, little houses.
We got to get it. Now I gave you somebody from the 60s, okay? Malcolm X. I gave you somebody from the time that you also know. You know what I'm saying? Eartha Kitt. She's the first Catwoman. Marcus. Everybody, we all know who she is. All right. It's time for another one. It's time for another one back in the 50s. Let's go.
And I'll see you on the other side.
We couldn't eat in the restaurants in Louisville. We couldn't eat downtown. One day I saw two Africans go in with their ropes and their turbans. They couldn't speak English. I heard the man say, "Let them in, they're not Negroes." I said, "Something's wrong. I can't say it's because I'm black, because they're so black and they're blue, but they went in." So I said, "Well, I get an Olympic gold medal, then I'll go in." I went and got my gold medal, went back in, ordered 2 cheeseburgers, and they said, "Sorry, we don't serve Negroes." I said, "I don't eat them either. Just give me 2 cheeseburgers."
That's right.
And she said, "You're getting smart." She called the manager, and he said something about, "I don't care who he is." She said, "Cassius Clay, I don't care who he is." Anyway, but I couldn't. The idea was I couldn't eat there, so I got so angry. I drove down to the Ohio River and stood there and looked at the gold medal, and I could imagine that American flag waving when they played the national anthem when I beat the Pole, the Russian. Dun, 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 dun.
Now, see, here's the thing. He mad at the crazy thing is, and I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. I love that brother for telling this truth, and for somebody recording it. I'm glad at the cameraman in him, but he mad at the wrong person for the wrong reason. Because for you to be told your whole life that you are from Africa, knowing you've been born, bred here in America, for you to bear witness to Africans from Africa, dressed like Africans, not speaking English, being allowed in, and then even the white waitress told the manager, "Oh, but it's Cassius Clay," and he was like, "I don't care who it is." Bruh, you're mad at it's bigger than white people. That's what I'm saying. Because if they cool with the African letting them in and they get into a citizenship, it's deeper than just them.
We eat in the restaurants in Louisville. We couldn't eat downtown. One day I saw 2 Africans go in with their ropes and their turbans. They couldn't speak English. I heard the man say, "Let them in, they're not Negroes." I said, "Something's wrong."
Now, this is the argument on this side. This is the fight that people are on over here that a lot of people don't get. They think we sound crazy. It's like, nah, we don't sound crazy. Y'all sound crazy because y'all worshiping the wrong ancestors. You keep talking about some victims. That's why you stay in victimhood. You're not talking about the writers. My battle lasted from 1492 to 1924. This wasn't an easy win. This wasn't a win at all because I'm still here. Just misclassified, reclassified, and disenfranchised. There are no ancestors with you, Black American, because the American Negro is who you are. You're hiding behind a status, a dead status. You're in that casket that I showed y'all on my Facebook page, the Mason joint. You in that motherfucker, and you need to get up so that you can degree up and step up to all the wonder that's in front of you. Like I told people, I'm like, you the person in the casket, you're supposed to be the eye on the roof, shining the light on everything. It's time to bring this home. It's time to bring it back. Doesn't mean all the trickery and devil worship and shit that they do. No, I'm talking about blue collar, white collar. I'm talking about building, creating. That's what it's time for. And those deities, I don't see you guys messing with. Those ancestors, I don't see you messing with. I don't see you messing with the eye openers, the ones that were telling you things in their time that you should have grasped it or grasped. You should have grasped that shit. You should have gripped on, because they was lacing pockets. So I just want to bring that to the forefront and tell you, hey, not knocking what you believe and what you care about, but you got to understand, man. You know, slavery never ended. They just traded the cuffs for the wand. They traded those chains for the wand. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to have you in chain because everybody's free, they had to mentally have you in chain. That's why I say the wand. It's the magic trick, bro. That's what they do. They spell casting on you. Got you thinking about aliens. Got you thinking about all them types of stupid stuff. So much so they conned, space trips with the girls going up there, the bunch of actresses and stuff. Come on, man. It's a game. Goes.